If your machine is doing this, stop riding it, because basically you're on a big green pogo stick. Why is our Kawasaki Ninja 650 acting like this? Chances are those fork seals have failed, pumped out the oil, and now it's just basically bouncing up and down on the spring. And that is not a safe condition to ride in. So let's dive into it. Step one, let's lift the front wheel up, drop it out. Then we can loosen up the clamps on the forks and drop those out. You ever just look at a machine and feel sorry for it? That's the way I feel about this one. And look at the head of that. No, they didn't over torque that at all. Fortunately, I had a 6-point on there. Otherwise, I think a 12-point would have rounded it off. Ah, people. I worked on that one under the good and tight torque specifications. I think we're going to see the same thing here. You can look at the heads of the bolts. Good gosh. All right, I'm curious. Now, this isn't very accurate, but this will give us an idea of what kind of torque are on these things. 90 foot-pounds. But it shouldn't be anywhere near that high. Oh, never a dull moment. Let's break that pinch bolt loose and hope that the same condition doesn't exist further in. 14mm Allen for the axle. That felt a little excessive, but we'll know when we go to put it back on. Lots of threads here, apparently. There you go. Let's get the holder off for the piping going to the calipers. Also, go ahead and get the fender out of the way. Same setup on the left side. 4mm Allen, 10mm bolt. Then a couple of pinch bolts, and then we'll do the forks one at a time. It's like 6mm all the way around. Just make sure you've got your hand on the fork at this point, because this should free it up. There we go. Just a little bit of tension makes the difference. Let's head over to the clamp, open her up. And you want to make sure you do it a little bit below the top, because if you squeeze the top, well, that's going to make it more difficult to remove that cap bolt. Now, there is going to be some tension on the spring, so just be prepared for that. And it's not a lot, but it will pop up in you. Oh, nothing to it. Scared y'all for nothing. Now, let's see what our oil looks like. Not at all what I was expecting. That looks brand new. All right, let's go ahead and get our spacer. There should be a washer and then a spring, of course. There's our washer and our spring. A little bit gray at the bottom, but not nearly as nasty as I was thinking it was going to be. Okay, let's get her back in the clamp. Now this time we're clamping it on the bottom part of the leg, because we're going to go through here, then we can reach in with an 8mm Allen and then hold it with a pair of special tools from Kawasaki. And actually you only need this end piece, because that's just a standard 3/8 extension to remove that bolt. Reach all the way down, hold that piston still. Come on. There we go. I'm making a mess on my floor. All right, now we should be able to get that inner cylinder out, the piece that we were holding still. Oop. I think that's everybody. Now, let's take out this outer cover, the dust cap, and then there's going to be a retaining ring on the inside. Then we should be able to remove our tube. And you can probably do this with the fork guard on there, but want to make it more difficult than you need to. Well, that's looking rough. Got some rust action going, but nothing that severe. I mean, honestly, I wasn't expecting this one to have oil that looked in that good a shape. I'm betting that's not going to be the case on the other side. We'll see when we get there. But this one, honestly, it really wasn't in that bad a shape other than that dust cover looking pretty crinkly. I would imagine once we get out that oil seal, it's going to be a similar condition. May need to replace that retention ring as well. Not in super great shape. Pretty rusted. Now I am going to rotate this back down. There's some garbage in there that I don't want to see go into the fork leg. So we're going to pop her loose. There we go. See, I told you there was a bunch of trash up there. Well, here's the good part. The tube's in good shape. I don't see any pitting. I do see some dirt down lower. I think we will go ahead and replace the bushings because you can see just how worn they are on one side versus the other. And we're right here, so why not? Now resist the temptation just to get out your can of brake contact cleaner and spraying it in there. No, if you're going to clean it out, use a suspension cleaner spray. This is the stuff that you need to get. Don't use the brake cleaner. So let's get this cleaned out, and there's a little ring of rust and debris up at the edge where that clip is. We're going to put it on its side and then get that brushed out. I'm just using a nylon brush. Not perfect, but I think that'll do. Just has a little bit of a rust stain, but that ain't gonna kill anything. Next, let's put this to the side and go ahead and put our bushings on. I decided to go with the set from All Balls Racing. And the good part with the bushing kit, you get the O-rings, the retention clips, I mean, everything that you're gonna need to put this back together. And don't freak out because you have two different sets. This one kit fits a multitude of different machines, so you're gonna have a few things left over that you won't use for your particular application. Let's start with our end bushing. Now on this end, go ahead and take off the seal washer, the second bushing. All right, before we put that inner sleeve in, let's make sure we've got this thing cleaned out well enough. Looking good enough. Just want to make sure there's no debris still floating around in there. Now we need to take our inner sleeve, bring it all the way through, guide it through the bottom like so. And at this point, make sure you've got that spring on the inside of this bushing on the end. And they don't go into it within the manual. This end cap stays on the bottom of the fork tube. So what we need to do is put that spring back in, guide it over the inner tube, and then put it back into the fork itself. Now the other trick here is to leave it, let gravity keep it down against it. We don't want it to fall out again, because if that spring comes out, then we have to repeat that process. So just keep that in mind. Gravity is your friend here. We can take this out to make sure it either stays vertical or horizontal. Do not let it tilt down. Looking good. Now we can take a lower tube, clamp it back in place. Go ahead and at least just get the walls a little bit coated with fork oil, as well as those two new bushings. Now we can lower her into place. Okay, with that, make sure you've got the upper bushing all the way into the fork casing. Now we're going to use our seal driver to go ahead and push that larger upper bushing down into position. Now this doesn't need to be tight, it just needs to hold on to the fork tube, and we'll tap it down. Now as always, if you like what you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. Need a little bit more percussive influence on this. That's the one downside to using the plastic. Not a lot of mass to push this in place. So we're going to help it out a little bit carefully. The metal one works a lot better. Now, I'm using a metal one in conjunction with a nylon one, but you have to hit it pretty hard to get those bushings in there. What I do want to do is take a peek real quick and make sure I bottomed it out. No, it is not bottomed out. Glad I checked. So it's creating an edge on the outside that hopefully I can straighten back up. Otherwise, if it isn't bottomed out, then the seal isn't going to go all the way down, and then the clip won't go in, and that'd just be a big old mess. That looks about right. The correct depth for the oil seal. Yeah, now it doesn't want to flip up like it did before. So that tells me that it's all the way down there. So we're good. Because before I could use the pick, push on the side, and it would kick it up. Now it won't because it's flat. All right, now we can drive in our seal. Put a little bit of fork oil, or if you have it, grease, but make sure it's suspension grease. Now let's get that guy driven in. Oh yeah, whole lot easier with the seal. And it is all the way down below the groove, so we're good to go. Satisfying click, and it's in all the way around. Now I think the fork guard is supposed to go on, and then the dust seal. Just me, but I probably would have preferred to put this on first where I could get around to this edge, and then put the protector on there. But hey, I'm following the manual. Now don't rotate it too far. We need to get out that sealing washer at the bottom because we're going to replace that. There it goes, right where I wanted it to. Because the kit comes with a new one. Little dab of thread locker on that bottom bolt. Insert our special tool, hold that inner part in place. And now we're going to torque this to 22 foot-pounds. Okay, time to fill this thing up with oil. Now if you were just doing an oil change, you bring it back up to 13.9, but since we've completely taken it apart, we're going to take it up to 16.2 initially. And don't let this freak you out. This isn't actually setting the level. This just is getting it up to a point where we can then pull off the correct amount, and that sets the level. All right, with that filled up, we just want to move it through its stroke a couple of times to help work the air out. Now if yours was like this one, if it is really pushed down hard, it can be a little bit tough to get it to release from that plastic cup that's all the way on the bottom. What we're going to do now is let it settle, then we're going to go get an extractor and we're going to set the depth to about 4 inches or 101 millimeters. At that point, we'll pull off the excess and then we can finish putting it back together. I have a love-hate relationship with this particular piece. Good God. All right, third hand, come here. Tracy, jump in. Just hold it flat. There we go. You have to find your own assistant. You can't have mine. Tell you what, it didn't pull anything, so I'm going to add just a little bit because I want to pull down to that. Now you don't get to run away yet. All right. Make sure we're all the way down. We are. Let's try that again. All right. It's probably pulling up into the tube. It finally got up to there, so I think we are good. I think it may be time for a new one of these. Have no fear, we're almost done. With this one anyway. Now, all the way down. Spring. Boink. Washer. And then our collar. Now I'm going to replace the O-ring because there is one in that kit. Putting a little bit of fork oil, make it easier to get it in there. Now, if you don't have a handy dandy Motion Pro pivot vise, just get it started, get it back on the machine, and let the triple clamps hold it still to get the torque on it. And we need to torque that to 16 foot-pounds. All right, kids, this one is done. Now the other one, it is a mirror image of this one, exact same procedure. I'm gonna go grab it, go through the same thing, and then we'll get it put back together. You can see where it's blown out the seal here, pushed it out. This is gonna be our problem child. As I'm betting, it has next to nothing in there for fork oil. There was our problem. But we already knew that, didn't we? But even if I would have started with this one first, I still would have done both of them as a pair. I mean, you just don't fix one side and not the other. Smells rotten compared to the other one. This side had some debris in it. That other one hadn't let go yet, but I would bet it was not far behind. All right, guys, this one is exactly the same as the other side. There's no difference in between the right and the left. They're identical in every single way, so the procedure and how they come apart and how they go back together is the same. All right, that's number 2 done. Let's go put it back together. So there's not much to this. It's just the reverse of what we did to take them apart. The important numbers are the torque values for the upper and lower pinch bolts, and that's going to be 15 foot-pounds for top and bottom. Now when you're doing the bottom, you may need to go back and forth between the two because they're pulling it down a little bit separately. We're 80 foot-pounds on the axle, 15 foot-pounds on the pinch bolt. Put in our new caliper bolts. Now the other really important one is going to be your brake caliper torque, and that's going to be 18 foot-pounds, not the 300 like it was when we took it apart. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and maybe go check out one of these 2 videos. We'll see you in the next one.